Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Strategy Gaming Dojo, where we find, learn, and play one more turn of the great strategy games. Today, we are continuing on with our Let's Play slash tutorial of AGEOD Civil War II. We are currently in late August of 1861. I do believe this is episode number 18, if you can believe that. Um, and I'm looking at the Western Theater, and more specifically, the Western Theater. So we do have some stuff going on over here at Nashville, which is, the Western Theater as well, but we'll kind of refer to that as the Eastern Western Theater if that's not confusing enough. But I'm looking at the kind of the bigger picture here to the west. So what do we have going on? Well, if we zoom in here, we have got Sterling Price hanging out in Fayetteville. He has entrenched to a level 3. As you'll notice, here early in the game, you can't really go beyond a level 3. I can't remember. Beauregard might be able to go to a level 4 because he's like that master entrencher. What a what a title. You're a master entrencher. But he may be able to go to a 4. I can't remember off the top of my head. But he's been stuck at 3 for a while. Price is up to a 3. Later in the game, you can go higher than that. But for right now, 3 is as good as it gets. So Sterling Price is dug into the Fayetteville soil here. He has been joined by J.O. Shelby now. Now, you might remember we took Shelby out on kind of a little cavalry spree. Yeah, he ran up here to Springfield. I don't know. The guys had a good time in the saloons there, and he got driven back here. So we put him back with Price for the moment. Price has a terrible command penalty bonus. But there's nothing we can really do about that early in the game. We're still just a month and a turn away from being able to form divisions. But in anticipation of that, we've got the wild warrior Ben McCullough coming up here to Fayetteville. He's a master spy, he's charismatic, and he's really good at fighting Indians. Sounds like an interesting chap. Uh, but we are threatened slightly. Now, as you see, we've got McCullough coming up here to Fayetteville, 243, 226. So we're talking about, 469, but Price is really well dug in. He's built, these entrenchments, these breastworks, all this stuff up here. Now, McCullough is a seniority 13. Price is a seniority 14. So McCullough will take command when he gets here. We'll merge him in. Eventually, we're going to have Price be our division general, and we'll stuff all this stuff into Price's division. We will then have enough command points. But we're going to do that, the early October round. We can't do it yet. So out here, we're outnumbered, but we're okay. We're not in bad shape at all. Eventually, we'll break Shelby back out and get him going cavalry-wise. Over here, we got Leonidas Polk. He's kind of sitting around now. Now, he's also got a scouting cavalry force that I was actually going to move up here to Humboldt. We want them, we don't want them, full on defending these guys. They don't even have a commander. They're just going to kind of look around. If the Union comes into, we don't have any visibility up here. It looks like the Union is on the move here. So we're going to try to get a little visibility there, and we may start having to move Polk up here. Also, in anticipation of that, we are going to build some troops out here. So I've got our build on all, so we can see that, the best units we could possibly build at this moment. You'll see a lot of them are over here in the west. We've really built up Virginia quite extensively to this point. Normally, I would have liked to have thrown one of these brigades in because I'll tell you right now, we have no visibility here, but the Union has already taken these three regions. They're about to take Fort Henry. They're pushing a little faster than I would like. Now, Polk, he's also got a penalty. If we build more, he's going to have even more of a penalty. But again, what can we do? I would like to eventually move Polk up here, but as you see, the Union is very smartly also coming down this side of the Mississippi River. Well, we do have this Provisional Army of Arkansas. You can play this whole region one of two ways. Now, I move McCulloch over here because I eventually want to take out, to the extent we can, Nathaniel Lyon, and then kind of almost envelop the entire western front here up to St. Louis. It's hard to do. The safer play is to bring McCulloch over here, and we still may bring him back. We'll see how this goes. But the safer play is to bring McCulloch over here, have him and Polk, defend this and keep the Union from advancing too far too fast, which I'm afraid is what's happening right now. We are going to then build a 122 unit. So this is infantry, infantry, infantry conscript. As you can see, I'm looking over here at what it is. A 6 pounder for artillery and some early cavalry. So it's not, great or anything, but we raised taxes last time. So we've got some money, we've got some manpower, we've been building armories. We're looking pretty good there. So let's build this one because we need to really start building up this force. In addition, instead of building a big one, okay, because that's going to take, let's look at this. How many? This is going to take 3 turns to build, 45 days, so 3 full turns to build. Um, let's see what else we could put over here in Tennessee that maybe, and here we go. Oh boy, that's 4 full turns. That's a good group there though. Look at that. Eventually would be 65 power. Well, tell you what, we kind of got to do it. So let's look at them. They've got artillery, infantry conscript. What else do we have over here that we could build? I'm just going to flip through here. Florida, Alabama. These are nice little forces because they, do the job of what you need. We've got some mounted brigades. We have some well, maybe we could can we build a sharpshooter out in Tennessee? Does not appear that we can. We could build some cavalry, although I will tell you, cavalry in this game, you're better doing what we're doing up in the east, where you're cutting rail lines, you're doing things like that. Um, let's do. Not in love with this. It's gonna take 1 turn. Hmm. Let's do a volunteer unit there, a volunteer unit here, and just kind of keep building this up a little bit. In Nashville, we're a little bit undersized as well. So we're mainly going to be building to the west here. Uh, so let's go back and go back to this infantry brigade, and let's put. Oh, interesting. Okay, so I did have this one. That's 30 days. Okay, I'm sorry. I totally missed seeing that the first time around. Let's put one of these guys here as well. And let's put one of these guys up here with Zollicoffer. So we're really going to be trying to build the west here. Still looking good. We've got a lot of stuff that we could build here. So let's give him another one of those. Going shopping here. We'll give him one of those. We'll give um, Polk another one of these guys. How are we doing? I don't want to use it all up here, but by the same token, we really got to start building up out here in Tennessee. I think we're okay over in Arkansas, Missouri, but this Tennessee, I probably left it like a turn or two too long. So let's go over here. Sorry, I didn't mean to make you dizzy if I moved that too fast. Let's go over here to the eastern front. Now, so we've built up some stuff. We're not going to go any further than that. I don't want this to get too low. We just raised some money. We offered that premium for manpower. You remember we're playing like $1.50 for every guy to join up. Our armories are getting built. That's great. Oh, let's make sure we don't have any cards to play. None of this, I don't think, is going to be worthwhile. Nope. We're good. We must have already exported bales last turn. Sorry if that's the case. Nothing to do here that I remember. Um, we could increase the river pool. We're not going to. Oh, we could issue war bonds again. It's going to cost 25 victory points. Let's wait a turn on that. We could build more armories, but this time now it's starting to get more expensive. We've kind of like gathered up the cheap ones. So yeah, let's leave that be for now. And let's kind of zoom in here. Well, I can see one thing already. We've got this Union force here. We really need to put some volunteers here. Uh, oh, these would be Virginia volunteers. Why don't we uh, Mid-Atlantic? Oh, we've got another headquarters support. Fantastic. We're going to build that and put it with Johnston right away. Okay, so we still have these brigades out here that we could build for Virginia. That's interesting. Here I was saying, let's not build any more for Virginia. We do need to put something here along this line, though. Let's put a guy in Marion. Let's put one in Christiansburg, just so we have something out here. That's, it's not a free shot for them, right? Now we're looking pretty good here. We've got our West Virginia force now under MJ Thompson. They don't have a full penalty here, and they've got 140 points. We also have these guys, Wise's Legion 1 and 2, and this cavalry group that are coming down here to assault these guys. Well, I say assault. We're going to be on the offense. Um, well, that's not even true. We're going to be on the defense, but a strong defense. Should we make that? Nah, we're crossing a river, which is going to disrupt our guys immediately. Now, remember, we've moved John B. Floyd. We're moving him up here. Let's remember, that's right, we've got the Carolina Department holding here. Look how much Johnston's built up, and he is raring to go. In a different time, I'm telling you, I would have him attack there, but I'm not going to do it. Um, hmm. Now look at this. We've got our guys here. We've got another force. Just don't want to lose Staunton. Let's um, let's do some more Virginia volunteers. We'll do them at Staunton. That looks pretty good. We've got this force that's coming here to meet with Beauregard. Oh, you can see here now, we've got a Union army that's moved over to Alexandria with 1,200, but we've got Beauregard almost 1,400, going to be almost 1,600, although there's still a command penalty. Um, you know, so we're going to be in pretty good shape there. We've still now Magruder failed his command test, so these guys are all locked. That just, doesn't really matter. We're building Kemper because he's completely defensive right here. Fredericksburg, that's fine. We got these guys here. Johnson's. Oh, that's right. We're going to build that headquarters unit. These things are just so great. Um, so we're going to build that here. Yeah, so he's there in Strasbourg. Now, they've got a force of 478. Like I said, in a different world, I may attack here because we've got him so outnumbered, but I do not want to come out of this great entrenchment that we have. Oh, we also have the Stonewall Brigade here. They are moving down into the Shenandoah Valley. That's good. The second headquarters support, we're going to go ahead and put that with Johnston. As he builds, we just want to protect him. So that's nice. And we've got these garrisons here in Strasbourg. Let's put those guys together. What difference? It doesn't make any difference. They'll only activate if Strasbourg's in trouble. I really don't think there's that much else to do. We've still got Vendor down here. He's, in Suffolk with this militia. Norfolk is, is it in trouble? I don't think so. I think this is just a gunboat squadron. We still have a reserve brigade back here, and Bushrod Johnson. He can kind of send these forces out wherever we need them to go. Um, hmm. As a matter of fact, oh, that's right. These guys are going to come here to Williamsburg. I like that move. And then we're building Fields Brigade that'll come up here. So I think we've pretty much done everything that we can do this turn. We've, played our cards. We've built a lot of forces. We put a lot out there. We got to hope out here to the west, and why don't we just go focus on that to begin with? We got to hope that the Union, we have no visibility here. We got to really hope that they don't start coming down here fast in a big force because as I said, I kind of maybe was a turn or two tardy in building up some forces here, but I was worried about Virginia, and that was, the yin and yang of the Confederacy. Nobody in Virginia, Robert E. Lee especially, wanted to send any troops west. They just didn't think it was important. They ended up being wrong about that, I guess, although you can look back and say, well, if they would have done that, maybe they lost in the East sooner and the war is over. But by not reinforcing the West, of course, they let Grant push down to Vicksburg down here. And once he had taken Vicksburg, the South was kind of shattered. They were cut in half out here out west, and Sheridan, once Grant did this brilliant campaign at Vicksburg, he took over the entire Union Army. Sheridan kind of took over the War of the West and made, did I say Sheridan? I'm sorry, Sherman, and made his Sheridan and made his famous, march to the sea where he burned the South to the ground. So with that, let's hope we don't have a Sheridan pop up here as well. Let's play this turn and see what happens. Some dead air here. I'm just kind of letting this game resolve itself here. See what happens. Okay, well, the Union's got more. Well, this is interesting, right? They've got a group of ships. It's either moving to New Orleans or Mobile. That could be a problem. It looks like in the east, the Union is coming out of its shell and potentially building up Alexandria for a big battle. Um, more boats out here. It's interesting. Now, usually the AI will Battle of Buffington, Missouri. I have no idea where Buffington, Missouri is. Usually the AI will try to hit you somewhere, down here by New Orleans, Mobile, Houston, Galveston, Houston. It'll hit one of those three spots. Well, and there we go. Right on cue. They have now dropped off some troops there, and we will have to scramble a bit because you know, you don't want them. Really, New Orleans and Mobile are the two important ones. I'd much rather them try to take Houston. That being said, if you lose Houston, it makes everything else much harder to hold on to. And here, the AI in this game is good, especially when you give it, well, I say good. It's good, relatively speaking, to AIs of games in general. Um, it's pretty well programmed. It kind of knows exactly where your weak spots are. I think that they spent an extra amount of time on the Union AI. I don't know that for sure, but I think they realize most people play the Confederates in Civil War games just because it's harder to play the Confederates, of course. It's more of a challenge. And oh, okay. Well, now we've got some action here in Winchester. Uh, General Milroy has taken Winchester. Not unexpected. That's fine. That was a pretty decent sized force, though. A little bigger than I would have liked to have seen. Day 14. Again, I know I always comment on this, but I love the we go and kind of this anticipation that you don't get in I go, we go, or I go, you go. Hey, we all go. Um, yeah, as I was saying, Alexandria, I think they're building for something here. They've also moved a force down into Leesburg that we'll have to think about a little bit. I'm actually surprised they haven't come back and made a play for Norfolk. They often will. Now you can see they do have us, uh, they've got us blockaded here, and this gunboat here is keeping anything from coming in or out. Oh, we got some new generals, by the way. There is Samuel Cooper. Now he's very interesting. He is the highest rated well, not highest rated by skill, but he's got the highest seniority and is the top ranking general in the Confederacy. And I would venture to guess 95% of people have never heard of him. He was back in Richmond. He was kind of a war planner. Some credit him with, pushing Davis to appoint Lee. Some say he didn't like Lee. You can read all about that. But as you see, we now have Robert E. Lee as well, a fine looking gentleman. Was there a man that ever looked better in a gray suit than Robert E. Lee? Um, and you'll see this lightning bolt here. What does that mean? Military genius level one. Well, I guess if you're being called that, it doesn't matter what level you're on. It says this leader is a military genius with many different abilities. Check the element detail panel to get the comprehensive list of all of his. Man, oh man. Well, let's go look. Show me Robert E. Lee. Hold on. I did something wrong there. Robert E. Robert E. Lee. There we go. Gosh darn. I was hitting on this, I think. Now he is locked. Well, he's permanently fixed, right? That's sort of true. He's permanently fixed for now. So you can't just go take Lee and put him in charge of, the army of what we're still calling the Army of the Potomac. He would have to, Richmond would have to be in danger for Lee to get activated at this point. He gets activated in 1862 to be historical. So you've got a lot of turns where Robert E. Lee is just sitting out here. Okay, anyway, let's go look at everything he's got. He's a fast mover, 15% bonus. He's reckless. Wow, um, he has difficulty retreating in the first two rounds of a battle. That's probably accurate. He was, I don't know if reckless was the right word. He was very aggressive because he generally thought he had better troops than the Union, and generally he was correct. Almost all of the time was he correct, although you could argue a couple of the battles once we get into late 1863, 1864 the Union had kind of caught up with them, but definitely early on when he takes over, he's got much better troops. So I wouldn't call it reckless. It is intelligent aggressiveness, I would say. He's a siege expert. Okay. He's a strategist, so he gets one command point, additional one plus one per ability level to the stack under his commands. It applies to all subordinates. I mean, you know, he's charismatic. I think that's what this one is. Always admired. So it's 30% increase in fatigue recovery. He is a fantastic general. In this game, he is the best general. He is a 655. It's hard to get much better than that when you're talking on a scale of 1 to 6. Um, so But of course, it's just a tease because he is locked here. We certainly hope that Richmond does not come under enough pressure where he activates in 1861. Um, just kind of looking through here. Oh, okay. Field's Brigade has built here. And we'll come back and move everything. Well, shoot. You know what? I just move him sometimes so I don't forget. We'll bring him to Fredericksburg first, and then eventually he'll do this kind of same route. Question whether we should do it that way. Let's maybe bring him this way. Nope, that's slower. That's weird. They have him going out that way first. Okay, that's fine. We'll bring him to Fredericksburg. So we're in early September now. We didn't really have a ton that happened that turn. Um, okay, cool. So we got some extra supplies just for fun. We have five full new generals. Samuel Cooper, we saw that. Robert E. Lee, we saw that. Uh, Joseph E. Johnston, Beauregard, and now we have Albert Sidney Johnston. You may say, well, where the heck is that? We'll go look at. Um, we've appointed new commissioners. Okay, this is just one of those scripted events. We had these battles. Milroy took Winchester, and we got defeated out there in Missouri. And as we can see, we've got this unit, but it's only power 14. That's good news. That's good news. Now, this made me nervous when we were watching the turn. We have this provisional army here, Provisional Army of Arkansas. They will activate if the Union comes here. They're only coming with a tiny force. It's 14 power. These guys would drive them off immediately. Meanwhile, look at all the things we're building out here for Polk. That's great. There is some shuffling we will have to be doing with these. Oh, let's look over here really fast to the west, and McCullough has finally arrived here with his quote unquote army of the West, even though it's not an army. We can't form it into an army because he's not a three-star general. Let's make sure his seniority is still better than Price's, 13 to 14. It is, so we will combine these two, and sure enough, McCullough takes command. Now I am going to break out Shelby again here because these guys are, the reason I put McCullough into Price's stack is to keep the entrenchment, right? Price into McCullough, I don't remember exactly, but I was worried that it may break entrenchment because, right, you're combining him with his force, who's not entrenched. But McCullough is now in command of the stack. That doesn't sit very well with Price historically or otherwise, but that's fine. So we're going to break Shelby back out because I think this force is strong enough now that we could do that, and we're going to give Shelby back this horse, and let's see if we put this stronger horse up here, if that clicks us over, and it does. Okay, I just wanted to make sure, I wanted to test that to see about if the command points of that were what I thought they were. Now we could have given him this, but we might as well give him the two best one element, so he's 2 and 2. Again, we were talking about great generals. Shelby, really, really good. Now he's still a power 77. What we'll want to do eventually is give him another brigadier general. We'll throw everything, we'll have that brigadier general build a division, and we'll throw everything in there, and he will be commanding like a 600 force of nothing but cavalry, and that is very powerful. Um, so these guys, we've got more guys coming down here. What do we really want him to do? Why did I break him out? Well, it's a good question. Let's have him just move over here for now. And let's see if we can kind of goad. Let's just have him go completely passive. So he's just going to go over here to kind of, maybe goad these guys into coming down. We have good entrenchment, good general. So let's try that. These guys were hoping activate. Um, we didn't really learn much here, you know. Let's have them go up one more. Oh, we can't get there because okay. Uh, that makes sense. Our Chattanooga guys are good. Yeah, we have no visibility up here. Um, so we can't get up into those regions. That's why they're darkened out. Um, Interesting. Yeah. Oh, it's oh, I get it. Duh. Sometimes you flip around, you're used I'm used to Kentucky declaring before now. This is still Kentucky. Um, Now the Union has claimed it. But Kentucky claims to be neutral, and that's why we can't go up there. They're still neutral. We haven't declared anything. We should be getting a decision whether we want to or not very soon. But that's why for some reason, I was looking at this, I was thinking Tennessee or Illinois. Even though I'm from originally Illinois, I should know that it ends at Cairo. Um, oh, Albert S. Johnston. Now, is he out here on the map somewhere? Well, I don't know. Let's go look at our messages. Commissioners, five full generals. Okay. Let's go and try to find Albert S. Johnston. Where is he? Look at this. Robert E. Lee, 655. Shelby. Stonewall Jackson. You really get to a sense of who the good generals are when you click on these stars. This shows you all your commanded forces, and any other generals for that matter. It really gives you a sense of who the good generals in this game, and honestly in real life. Yeah, I mean, this is a pretty good representation. McCullough out here, you see, is pretty decent. Um, okay, Sibley's out here. We've seen him before. John B. Floyd. Okay, so even though Albert Sidney Johnson has been appointed, he is not available yet. Let's go to Richmond and make sure that we don't have to send him west. Nope. Okay, that's fine. He's not available. It is what it is. Um, oh, okay, so let's talk about anything else we want to do out here. Um, we may end up, building more things out here this turn. We need to keep building, especially in Nashville. There is a massive Union force that's, kind of lurking up here. And we would have known that historically, right? This is, Grant's army starts to form in this area, and will eventually move down the Mississippi. There's also another army that, could very well come out of Louisville or Cincinnati. So you've got Louisville here and Cincinnati. We'll have to be on the lookout for that. Now we're building a whole bunch of volunteer forces. Oh, as you can see, remember these guys? They were at Lewisburg. They have now, they're, trying to come down this way. What they're trying to do is come down and cut that rail. And we need to try to stop that if we can. Although we've got, shoot, hmm. Now they've kind of slipped us here a little bit. Let's, why don't we go ahead and chase them? So we're targeting them. Uh, Maybe that's something I never showed in the tutorial, but you can target by just dragging your card over them. So they're going to come after these guys and try to take them out. Meanwhile, they're one day out from here. We're going to bring them all the way to Covington. Ah, shoot, it's 16 days. I was really hoping it wasn't because I don't want them to sneak down here either. Now we are building, we've got some militia on the build. That's good. John B. Floyd has now arrived up here. We're going to keep him going. Army of the Shenandoah. They're showing them inside Strasbourg, and I don't want them to be inside Strasbourg. I want them to be outside of Strasbourg. It's only because he failed his leadership, supposedly. That's what that shows, that they're fixed, but they're not, actually. So, kind of odd why it's showing it here. It doesn't look like he's fixed. So, okay, Cool. We just moved him out. Stonewall's now down here with a strength of 203. We've got him on a very soft kind of passive defensive posture. Uh, this big army has a power of 665. Would not be unusual to see them come down this way. And that's why we've moved Jackson over here to kind of block, I guess. Okay, this is the Winchester guys. We'll just have them, we'll put them in with the Carolina Department to get them out of this region should the Union attack. Like I said, Johnston's in very good shape. Uh, Beauregard is in great shape. He's now, up to 1590 with a massive penalty. So, okay. Um, Okay, I think this is a good place to leave it. We've kind of looked at how that turn resolved, what we've got going on. There's nothing. Oh, one place I did want to look down here near Houston. Um, we do have a small force down here. It's not tiny. I mean, well, that's pretty tiny, 47, but it's not nothing. Let's put it this way. These guys, Schur's Cavalry Regiment. Looks like these guys are just cavalry. A regiment's probably going to be about similar size to that. Um, oh gosh, look at this huge squadron. Oh, we just have nothing like that on the Confederate side. Obviously, the Northern Navy was so much better. But we're just going to have these guys sit here, Galveston, because we've got this and we've also got some militia. We're going to build up some troops here next turn, but we're going to do that when we come back next time. As always, it's been a blast. This is a really good game. The AI is testing us a bit here. It's not as if we're in great shape. We're not in terrible shape. We still haven't lost anything here on the Eastern Front, so to speak. I mean, we've lost Winchester at this point, but we were defending it with militia, so maybe to be expected. But yeah, we're doing okay, but the AI is giving us a challenge, which I like. So, thank you as always for joining me. I really do appreciate it here on Strategy Gaming Dojo, and I will talk to you next time. Goodbye.